Education is right in front of our eyes. Get up, do something. MHC on the rise. Think positive. Oh, we gotta stay positive. Yeah. We can learn to love each other. Like my sister and my brother. MHC on the rise.
Good evening, Martinsville and Henry County. Welcome to MHC on the Rise. I'm your host, Garrett Dillard, and for the month of August, we have focused on education in school, and we've met with and had conversation with teachers and parents, and tonight we're gonna meet some of our young ladies who work hard and diligently to make sure your kids have the energy to do the homework and to do the PE classes and to, whatever it takes to make it through the day. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we will have a conversation from there. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Linda Irby. I work at Center for Community Learning.
I'm Marcie Lexa, and I work at the central office.
And as I, both of you all work in the school nutrition area, but tell us what your specific role is with the school system.
I'm the director of the school nutrition programs.
Okay, and how long have you been in that role, Ms. Lexa?
I've been with Henry County since January of 2006,
Okay.
so almost 9 years.
Almost 9 years, okay. Ms. Irby?
I work at Center for Community Learning as the cafeteria manager, and I'm also the catering manager for Henry County Schools, and I've been there about 4 years.
4 years, okay. Well, good. I know you guys have a lot of communication and conversation. What led you to the role of, being in school nutrition?
School nutrition is my dream job. I have to say that. I couldn't be happier than where I've landed. But I've worked in food service since I was 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
So I was a diet tech in a senior living facility, my very first job, and worked my way up to being a unit manager and then a regional manager, and worked for a private company for culinary catering in secondary schools before I found this job.
So you understand food.
Yes, I love food.
Awesome.
And I've been in food service for about 25 years, and I always longed for a job in food service where I didn't have to work nights and weekends and holidays.
Awesome.
So school nutrition was my way out of those situations.
And kind of off the cuff here, but do you enjoy cooking at home after you do all your work at school and you talk about food and around food so much? Does that impact, what you do at home in reference to food?
I still do. I don't get to do it as much because I work really long hours during the week, so I cook on the weekends.
Oh, okay.
I still cook at home, but my husband's a chef, so.
Woo-hoo.
Oh, man.
We
Dinner on the Irby's tonight. And, Miss Irby, when most people think about schools, they think about teachers, administrators, students, but we know that the school nutrition staff plays a very important role in the success of a school day and the operations of a school day. Describe to our audience a typical day for you in arriving at the school and, breakfast, lunch, and, throughout the end of the day.
Once we arrive, we have to open up for the day. We have a food defense system that requires us to keep everything locked to ensure the safety of the food. So we have to go through the process of getting everything open for the day. Then we prep and prepare the meals for breakfast and for lunch. And then, I have 2 substitutes that come in and to help me with the lunch preparations and for the night meals.
Okay, and then you get into your lunch and...
Yeah, we prepare the lunch, we serve it, and then we just kind of have to do the cleaning for the day. We have to make sure everything's sanitized and labeled, dated, and put back where it's supposed to be, and make sure we're following all the dietary guidelines.
Because if you don't, Miss Lex is going to come over.
Yeah, she does right many inspections.
And I know sometimes as administrators and students and teachers, we get a little frustrated, but the things that you have to do is for our benefit and for our health to make sure that we're eating good, healthy, food is up to date and everything, correct?
Correct.
Okay, well, good. Ms. Lexa, how has the school nutrition field changed, you know, in your tenure? I know you said 9 years in the school,
Right.
but how has it changed?
There have been some pretty large changes while I've been here. It's the simplest to say that the regulations have just become stricter.
Okay. Okay. Any particular regulations or?
In general, what we're allowed to serve, and the way the menus have to be written. It's just become very strict in what can be served to the students, when it can be served, how
Okay.
often it can be served, et cetera.
Okay. And that leads me into my next question. How are menus developed?
There is a lot that goes into the development of the menus. First of all, anything that goes on those menus has to meet the federal guidelines.
Okay.
So,
Can I ask you this question? Why does it have to meet the federal guidelines? Because I don't think often
Yeah.
everybody understands it, but why do we have to meet what somebody in Washington, D.C. is telling us about what we're feeding our kids in Henry County, Martinsville?
now, if we didn't want to receive any kind of money back for the meals that we serve, and we do receive federal funds for meals that
Okay.
are served. So we receive federal funds just for meals that are served, and then we receive monies if we sell meals as
Okay.
paid meals. Other than that, we don't receive any monies from local taxes or
Okay.
any other way. So this is a federal meals program.
So in short,
So if we don't meet those guidelines, then they'll come down and they'll slap our wrists and say, I'm sorry, you aren't going to receive your
okay.
federal meals. We aren't going to pay you for your federal meals for this day or that
Okay.
day. Or
Oh, yeah. So we want to meet those guidelines.
Right.
And I'm sorry I interrupt you for
That's
you.
okay.
But you know, you can continue with telling us how are menus developed?
Menus are developed by following those federal guidelines, and there's a basic meal pattern that we have to follow. And in addition to that, we have to meet specific meal patterns for 3 different grade groups. We have K through 5, we have 6 through 8, and we have 9 through 12. So we have to write 3 sets of menus
Okay.
for breakfast and then 3 sets of menus for lunch. And not only do we have to meet the menu pattern and serve like certain vegetables so many times a week, and serve a certain amount of fruit every day and offer so many things certain times of the week, we also have to meet required calorie range. Less than 10% of the calories can come from saturated fat.
Oh, wow.
And then we have to meet the new sodium guidelines, which is a new regulation
So who keeps
this
up
year.
with all these numbers? And you said we, so who all is involved in that process?
There are a lot of people that help us to do that. The vendors and the manufacturers have been working on their products ever since 2010 when the Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act came through. They knew it was coming.
Okay.
And they've implemented this in stages so that everybody could work toward making the grade, so to speak. This is the first year that we've been required to serve all grains that are enriched
Okay.
with whole grain. So little by little, all the manufacturers have managed to get their grains to the point that they'll meet those guidelines. And this is the first year we've had a sodium target. So little by little, each year they put a little less sodium
Okay.
in the food so that the kids could adjust little
Okay.
by little.
So in essence, Washington, D.C. make the rules.
Oh yeah, and everybody else just
Everybody
falls
else has
in
to
line.
follow. And if businesses want us to continue to partner with them, they have to fall in line.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome.
And there's a huge manufacturing group out there
absolutely.
that's working to help us out.
Okay. And how do you determine, or who determines the price of breakfast and lunch?
Well, you know, breakfast is free for all
Yeah,
our
true,
kids
correct.
because we're Provision 2, and we plan to stay that way because we really feel that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and our kids are not ready to learn if they come to school with an empty stomach. So we've gone Provision 2, and we're in our 3rd base year now,
Okay.
which means this is our 9th year for elementary schools that we've been Provision 2. Works really well.
Okay.
And we just want to promote breakfast for everyone. We want everyone to understand that it doesn't matter what their financial situation is. Breakfast is free to any child, any student in Henry County. For lunch, we're controlled by that Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act in that it had a clause called the Paid Lunch Equity Act. And so every year from now until paid lunch catches up with what the reimbursement rate is for a free lunch, we're going to have to go up by 10 cents.
So every year to go up by 10 cents.
We don't have a choice.
Okay. So I have 3 kids, so that's 30 cents.
Ouch.
But that,
Yeah.
we'll make that work, and we appreciate all you all do, because that keeps us from having to pack lunches. And,
Right.
because at the end of the day, if you pay it at school, or you have to pay it to the grocery store, and it's a lot
Well,
easier.
and think about what you're getting for if you have a secondary child for $2.10. What can you get at McDonald's for $2.10?
Not much
or-
healthy.
Yeah, well, nothing really healthy. And they have some healthy things that they're putting in the child's meal now, but your middle schooler's not going to eat that child's meal.
Exactly.
And you can't get hardly anything for $2.10. I mean, if you eat off the 99-cent menu or something, or the $1 menu or whatever they have, you're going to get a mini burger and a mini fries and a mini soft drink, and none of that's really nutritionally healthy.
And I'm a dollar menu heir. So.
Right, I mean, $1 menu air.
And it shows.
Right. So, none of that's really that good for you, and you've already spent over $3, whereas our meal's $2.10 for a student.
Absolutely. Well, then that's good. And, I know you also have some other programs, that you've implemented outside of your regular, school time lunch and breakfast. And one of those programs is a child and adult care food program. Tell us a little bit about that program.
Well, we started that because we had some at-risk kids in the evening program at the Center for Community Learning who were studying and coming in at 4 o'clock very hungry. And we couldn't find a way to feed them, a reimbursable way to feed them. And our regional director said, well, try the Child and Adult Care Food Program. And that just means being sponsors of another program, but it also opens up a whole nother area of opportunity for us as a nutrition care program and being able to offer that then to the community.
Okay. And you say offer it to the community. Can any after-school programs in the community apply for this program, or is it just something that the school system offers?
The school system offers it, but it's open to any enrichment program that is occurring after school. And it doesn't necessarily have to be on school grounds. If there's a Boys and Girls Club operating, that's an after-school enrichment activity. We could be feeding them supper before they go home.
Church programs?
I'm not for sure certain
Okay.
about church programs because they're not really linked like the Boys and Girls Clubs are. But any of the athletic events that are going on, the coaches that have practice, we could be feeding their athletes before they go home.
So, like on game
We could be
day.
feeding the band practices before they go home. It doesn't even have to be just game day.
Okay.
It can be any practice.
So they could actually, football practices 4 days a week, so they could actually get a meal.
4 days a week,
4
they could
days a
have
week.
a good, solid supper before they went
And
home.
what would, because I hope some coaches are out there listening.
Yeah,
because,
no.
you know,
We
it's
send them
always-
the menus
Well,
and a letter.
you take
but
high school kids, some kids eat at 11:35.
Right.
Practice starts at 4, you finish about 6. Those kids would love to
6,
get.
they'd be starving.
Absolutely.
Perfect timing,
So
you know?
yeah, 4 o'clock, and what would a coach or an AD or an administrator need to do to
Band
inquire,
director, anyone.
band director to inquire about this program to see if it's something they're interested in?
They simply need to call the central offices, and I've got menus, got a letter, got, how they can sign up as a site.
Okay. And I'm assuming this program is going fairly well so far.
We haven't had a lot of response outside of the group at CCL.
Okay. Well, let's get some other people signed up, and anytime we can provide meals for our students,
right.
we should definitely do that because that it saves the parents. And but we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Miss Marcie Lexa and Miss Linda Irby about school nutrition.
The solution is right in front of our eyes. Get up, do something. MHC on the rise. Think positive. Oh, we gotta stay positive. Yeah. We can learn to love each other. Like my sister and my brother. MHC on the rise.
You're watching BTW 21, your neighborhood network, the pride of Martinsville. For professional and affordable PC repair, sales, and service, call Fixing Your PC at 681-6888. You're watching BTW 21, your neighborhood network, the pride of Martinsville. Haley's Vac with over 100 models in stock, but not just vacuums. Shampooers, mops, steamers, air purifiers, infrared heaters, commercial vacs, parts, supplies, repairs on site, and backroom bargains.
The new Haley's Vac with over 100 models of vacuums in stock now. Home of the Simplicity Freedom, only 7.5 pounds, made in USA. Home of the Lamp Berger, Paris.
Is it time for a new car, truck, or SUV? Hi, I'm Nick Bello, the credit master at Danville Toyota. We specialize in finding the perfect vehicle for you and your family. If you've had credit issues in the past, no problem, I'm the credit master. At Danville Toyota, we have hundreds of new car, truck, or SUVs to fit your family budget. So give me a call at 434-822-0300 or come by and visit me at 125 Piedmont Place and find out why they call me Nick Bello, the credit master.
I'm Danae Thompson, a pharmacist here at Chatham Family Pharmacy, where we have a full range of prescription and non-prescription products, nationally certified pharmacy technicians, and can offer you friendly service with a minimal wait and the lowest prices in the area. We offer compliance packaging, free delivery up to 10 miles, and are conveniently located on Highway 29 in Tight Squeeze Plaza. So stop by and find out how we can help you and your family be healthy at Chatham Family Pharmacy.
The solution is right in front of our eyes. Get up, do something. MHC on the rise. Think positive. Oh, we gotta stay positive. Yeah. We can learn to love each other. Like my sister and my brother. MHC on the rise.
Welcome back, Martinsville and Henry County. I'm here with Miss Marcie Lexa and Miss Linda Irby, and we are discussing school nutrition. And I want to focus a little bit with Miss Irby on, would it be unfair to say that school nutrition workers only serve food to students?
Yes, because although students are our biggest customer, we do serve teachers, some administrators, and for instance, at Center for Community Learning, we have adult GED programs that we serve meals to them as well.
Okay, and it's important. Relationships is the term now in all businesses, and of course it's important because you see students. I mean, most of them twice a day, and you're in the cafeteria for an extended period of time. How do you build relationships with students as they're coming through that lunch line?
Well, our goal is to respect the students, and in turn them respect us. Mm-hmm. And we try to greet them every day, and every time they enter into the cafeteria, we want to say hello to them and smile and let them know that we're here to serve them. And also give them a smile. Sometimes lunch period is their downtime. They're not having to focus on testing or studying or preparing for any kind of educational, materials, anything like that. So, we try to let it be like a downtime, a relaxing time where they can come in, get fueled up by eating their meals and get ready to focus on the next class that they're going into.
And as long as they stay in order,
yes,
it can be a nice, relaxing time for them. And I know you work hard. I mean, I see both of you. I know both of you put a lot of time and energy and effort into your job. And I like to say you put a little bit of love in the food when you pass it out. But is there a school nutrition worker appreciation week?
There is. we actually have the same week as the Teacher Appreciation Week, which is the first week of May. And we try to make sure our ladies and men know that we appreciate them that week, and get gifts for them, and let others know that it's Appreciation Week.
And what would be some things that people could do to show that they really appreciate you?
One of the biggest things is just say thank you. We recognize that you're here, and you're a big part of the students' day. And that's one of the most important things that we look for, is just to be appreciated.
So we're going to get you a lot of thank yous
Yeah.
for May this year. And, a little more serious, poverty. We know that our area is highly impacted as far as poverty. The economy is not, what it used to be.
Right.
How does that impact school nutrition?
Well, on a free and reduced percentage basis, our official percentage until it gets recreated at the end of October this year was 66.25% free and reduced. Martinsville is much higher, Danville City's much higher, Roanoke City's much higher, but really Southside Virginia is the highest area in Virginia and in the Southeast when it comes to free and reduced.
And does that impact your planning possibilities? Does it impact?
It doesn't really impact when it comes to planning menus and that sort of thing. We don't really think about the free and reduced rate. That doesn't impact that. We want to plan the healthiest, the best possible menus that we can, and we're trying to bring in the best possible products. When we go out looking for products, we've got a specific items that we're looking for. We aren't saying, well, it's because of high free and reduced or low free and reduced.
and I know, when I worked in Greensboro, I've seen, where kid doesn't have money, can't pay for your lunch, and this third or fourth day in a row at some point, because it is it is a business. You have to, lunches have to be paid for, but how difficult is it for you to see that kid coming through? And you can just, see the hunger, but they don't get free or reduced, they don't have the money, but yet you have to, abide by the guidelines and either not provide them that meal or, try to find a way. How difficult is that for you?
It is very difficult. It is one of the hardest things that a cafeteria manager have to do. But we do offer them an alternative meal. We can't, after so many days, we can't allow them to take the regular meal, but we do have a filling meal that they could take at that point. When it comes to that point,
And that kid should just ask, or because there's some kids
we call it a no money lunch. It doesn't matter how long we've charged. Once they've reached, we have a charge limit. We have to, or we would be in the red so badly.
Absolutely.
And once they've reached that limit, then they can just say, I need the no money lunch, and that's a sandwich. They get the serving of fruit, and they can also take a milk. So that is actually a reimbursable meal, but we don't get reimbursement for that because it's not their choice. And we let them choose their sandwich and choose their fruit, but it's still not really a reimbursable lunch because they didn't get to choose their entree.
And it's called a no money lunch. And that's one program, I guess, to assist kids who can't, maybe not afford a meal on a particular day. But are there other programs that you're aware of, or are there any specific programs that individual schools? I know, like when I was at Page High School, we started what was called Page Cares, and we received donations from individuals and businesses. And when kids couldn't get lunch, they knew to come to an administrator, and we had a special account. We could swipe their card, the kid could get a lunch. Do we have any programs like that at any of the schools here?
We don't have any programs like that per se, but when you say that you have a child that does not qualify for either free or reduced lunch, but yet no one can pay for the $2 lunch, I have a little bit of difficulty with that, because you realize that a family of 4 can make $890 of income a week and still qualify for reduced lunch.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's gross. And if you multiply that by 25% for taxes and stuff, they're still going to be bringing home $680 a week, bringing home.
Correct.
So if they then still can't afford lunch, maybe it's more a question of too many bills.
Correct.
Or extending themselves too far.
Or using money for
Right.
the wrong things.
Right, and that's a
Correct.
possibility. But for a family of 4, if you're bringing home close to $700 a week, that should take care of 1 week, could take care of housing, I would think, and then the rest of it is, when you're budgeting,
Correct.
should be able to take care of the rest of the bills,
Absolutely.
if you're budgeting.
Correct.
So maybe that family that you're thinking of has not applied. They may qualify, at least for the reduced, which 40 cents for a meal is a lot less than $2.10
Absolutely.
or $2 for a meal, because then you're only talking about $4 a week. Yeah, I mean, so we'd really like them to look into, go ahead and making sure that they don't qualify
Okay.
before they assume that they won't.
Okay. Okay. And what are some other things about school nutrition that you'd like for our audience to know? Some things that we haven't talked about tonight.
Okay. We want the parents to know that we do serve good quality meals at our schools, and we want them to take interest in the menus. They're online on the website, we send them home with the students. Look at them, look at the availability that's on those menus, and even come by the schools and have lunch with your children sometimes. The meals for adults are $3.25, and we'd love to have you. And it doesn't have to be Grandparents' Week or a special day. We have an open invitation. You can come any day to have lunch with your child, and you can see for yourself. We offer the students an entree, a choice of 2 vegetables, a choice of a fresh fruit, and another fruit, and then they can have milk with it. So we serve a good variety of fresh foods along with the meal. So
Okay.
we want the parents to understand that, we want them to come by and check out what we're serving.
Okay.
Not just word of mouth, hearsay, because sometimes things aren't,
Exactly.
exaggerated a little bit or something, but just come by.
Got about 30 more
Right.
seconds. Anything you want to add to that, Ms. Lexa?
Just remember that we do have the catering services. Linda does a wonderful job. We plan all of our menus and
And
stuff
do you
together.
only cater for the school system?
No,
or-
we will cater for outside groups.
For outside
Now,
groups.
it's cheaper for the school system,
Okay.
but we will do for outside groups also. We have a really wide range of ideas and things that we'll do, and
what's that number
menus
to-
for dinners.
What's that number to reach?
They just need to call 276-634-4703 to set up an event. And I've got a wide range of menus
Okay.
and things for refreshments to teas and
To dinners.
to dinners.
Awesome, awesome. And I appreciate you ladies coming on tonight and giving us a better understanding of school nutrition, because I know, like you said, a lot of people go by what they hear, but, kids, McDonald's, Burger King, that's going to be different from a school lunch, because you have a dual purpose. You want to provide a good meal as well as, a 100% nutritious meal. And we definitely appreciate all, what you all do every day for our kids. And Martinsville, Henry County, had a great conversation tonight, and ask you to join us next week. We're going to start our topic on diversity, and we're going to have various guests. And I also want to mention that there's a community cup between the Martinsville and Henry County Police and Sheriff's Department versus the Danville Police and Sheriff's Department, and that's going to be this Saturday, August 30th at 5 p.m. Tickets are $7 per person and $5 per person with a canned food or a CAFV shelter, and it's going to be at the Southside Baseball Field. And you can actually just go online and pull up the Martinsville Bulletin, look up Community Cup, and get more information. Martinsville, Henry County, have a great week.
The solution is right in front of our eyes. Get up, do something. MHC on the rise. Think positive. Oh, we gotta stay positive. Yeah. We can learn to love each other. Like my sister and my brother. MHC on the rise.